it's the week of the vegetarian, worldwide vegetarian week. So I'm not entirely sure if that means we eat vegetarians or we eat vegetarian food. I don't know. But I was just thinking, if with food it's easy. You know, the rules are clear, and most people are experienced at vegetarian food and preparing it and cooking it. But with wine, it's a little bit more complicated. And why would you have a vegetarian wine, a non-vegetarian wine, or a vegan wine, even a vegan wine? And I think a lot of vegans probably need some wine. Looking at the people in, no, I can't go there, can I? In Infinity Foods, the queue is awful. Saying nothing. It's just, you've got to eat something proper. So the rules and regulations with wine are that where this becomes apparent is wine gets filtered sometimes at some point, which keeps your wine from looking hazy and unstabilized. And there's different ways of filtering wines in the big tanks. So if it's in a big tank in stainless steel, often in the past they would have used egg white, and you stir it in and it gradually sort of floats to the bottom, and it takes out all the really, really fine haze. Used to be able to do it with bull's blood, but apparently that's not so fashionable at the moment. So that's not used anymore. And also you can use a product that's sort of basically fish gut, which gets stirred in and then drops down. It's like making a consommé at home, and you stir something in just to get that fine filter out. And people worry about it, but parts per million at the end in the bottle of wine, really, there's nothing in it. But obviously, if you're sensitive to these things, then the eggs and fish gut have been used on some wines. But the alternative would be to use a clay called bentonite, which the wine gets pushed through. You can have different grades of it, whether you want a heavy filter or a light filter, or don't filter at all. People who don't filter at all, like this one here, Bodega Fournier, this Chilean wine, Chilean blend called Centauri, which is a bloody superb wine anyway. They choose not to filter the wine at all, and would argue that if you do filter, it might strip away some of the character of the wine, and it's better to leave it natural, a little bit of sediment in the bottom, which you can just decant off and enjoy the wine as it is, just minimal contact from the human. This one is filtered through clay. This wine, actually, not many people get to drink this, and it's a completely oddball wine. I think we've done the Baden Horse wines on previous shows on winebox.tv. Baden Horse is he's just a bit of a cool dude making wine in South Africa, and this is his version of a sherry. So it's Chenin Blanc, Viognier and Chardonnay, blended with lots of different years that it keeps blending, and it keeps adding to it, and it gets aged with a flaw. It's like a yeast infection, something that's apparent. Very typical natural yogurt, all the easy gags with it, which creates this sort of nutty character that sherry has. And this is a dry white wine, but it's got that flaw action, so it sort of tastes a little bit like sherry. So whether it's vegan, vegetarian or not is really irrelevant on this one, because it's bloody odd, but I love it, and I tried it earlier, and it's something you're not going to repeat as an experience, but just get out there and try these quirky wines. So if you're worried about vegetarian wines, vegan wines, go to shops where they can advise you. More information is appearing on back labels, or check out the websites of the producers, and they'll say in the information whether they filter or not. That's the key point for whether it's going to be vegetarian or not. But otherwise, just keep on enjoying wine and get back out there and try some proper wines, particularly these two, because they're bloody brilliant. Spend a bit more, get a better wine.
Well, we've heard that before.
Yeah. I'm going to keep and spend a little bit more than that as well.